All right, people are returning to work, and work injuries are on the rise.
Yes, our friend lawyer Twillie from LA Law is joining us now to talk more about it. Welcome. This is something that can happen. You know, you just unexpected, you get hurt at work.
Yes, and as people are back to work, it's happening more frequently. And I know we kind of briefly offset, we're talking about the situation twice this week. Two different scenarios, well, similar scenarios, two different outcomes. So I have two new clients, comp injuries, where one was injured 15 years ago.
15 years ago. Now, did they do something 15 years ago to let the employer know
Sure.
that something? Okay.
Yep, they put the employer on notice. They have a claim with comp, but they never hired an attorney. They only dealt with the comp doctor. And now, 15 years later, she needs a total shoulder replacement.
Oh.
Right? And it probably could have been avoided with the appropriate medical care. But this was the kicker. She worked for this major company for quite a long time, felt loyal towards them, and didn't want to sort of rock the boat and hire a lawyer and make it look as though she was being adversarial towards the company.
All right.
So now she's retired, needs a total shoulder replacement, could have been avoided. She didn't do it. Another new client that we had, very similar, shoulder injury, getting close to retirement age, bigger company, is loyal, but made the decision that says, hey, in 10 years, that company is going to be just fine. But how am I going to be in 10 years?
Right, exactly.
When I'm trying to enjoy my retirement. So she hired us, and you know, we're making sure she gets the appropriate treatment.
But that's a valid question. Is it normal, and should you always hire a lawyer, and can you go about it by saying, I'm just doing what I need to be doing, rather than, because, I don't know, can companies also retaliate, or?
Yeah, that's what I...
That's a major concern, and technically they cannot, but the reality is
exactly
it happens. And so, you know, if you are injured at work, you should absolutely contact a lawyer. There are plenty of times where people are injured at work, they contact me and I say, listen, here's what you need to do. It's not really a case that you probably need a lawyer for.
Okay.
And you can handle it yourself.
So you'll give the advice.
Yes, yeah. I mean,
or sometimes if it's a really serious injury and you say, listen, you're going to be looking at a lifetime of medical bills.
Yes.
You're going to need a lawyer.
Yeah, you need a lawyer to make sure that at the end of the day, when you do get your sort of permanent, we'll just call it a permanency rating for lack of a better term, you make sure that you have, you know, a good amount of money for that. And, you know, we've been able to help a lot of clients that way. There was a woman that was injured, tried to do it herself, got really low offers from the carrier. You know, we get involved, and it almost doubled her offer.
Yeah, which is incredible. But now, there's a difference between a scrape on the knee and a shoulder injury. I mean, you know,
absolutely.
So you'll be able to, you know, people sometimes, you know, they'll jump to conclusions. Oh, I need a lawyer for this. You'll be able to say, well, no.
Yeah, no, listen, if our services are needed and necessary, we'll jump in there and be happy to help. But if it's something that somebody can do on their own, we'll walk them through it, tell them, hey, just do this, do this. If there are any hiccups or bumps along the way, let us know, and we'll reconsider.
If you do get injured at work, what step one? Do you recommend always file that workman's comp claim or open a case just in case, because you don't know?
Oh, you have to. Yeah, you need to report that to your employer. That should be the
very first step. So don't be like, oh, I don't need to report it. You need to do that.
Absolutely report it to your employer. Seek the appropriate medical care. A lot of times employers will have a medical plan in place where you have to go see their preferred providers.
Okay.
But, you know, once you do that, maybe you should contact a lawyer, figure out what your options are, and figure out whether or not you need a lawyer.
Right.
I know there's plenty of good lawyers out there that'll say, hey, you don't really need me. You can kind of do it on your own. This is what you need to do. We're one of those. So, yeah.
Well, yeah. I think that's important. You know, the truth and advertising. You're going to let the people know whether or not.
Let them know. Yes.
But as Kara just mentioned, though, always, you know,
you got to let your employer know.
Something happened.
Yes.
This is what happened.
Yep.
I'm letting you know. I want there to be some kind of paper trail.
Yes, absolutely, and make sure it happens, because we do hear this a lot from people that call with work-related injuries. Is they have let their employer know, and I'll ask them, well, was any paperwork filled out?
Right.
No.
No.
So, you know, you need to have that paper trail, which is really important.
Okay.
It's very similar to if you're getting into a car accident, you say, I know it's a pain, but you got to stay and wait for the police to come and make that police report, because you just need that paper trail. So it doesn't even mean you're being antagonistic. I think some people are like, oh, I don't want to offend my boss, or, oh, I'll just, you know, but that paper trail is not being antagonistic, it's being smart.
Right, yeah, and you know what, listen, we're working, it happens at work, it's a work-related injury. Maybe they don't do the paperwork that day. Follow up the next day or the next day. Just, you got to make sure it's done. You got to advocate for yourself. You give us a call, we'll let you know whether or not it's something that we can help you with, or you can do it on your own.
All right. Thanks, lawyer.
Thanks for
Lauren.
having me.
Always a pleasure.
And
Love the
Same.
bow tie.
Yes.
Thank you.
If you have questions, you can always contact attorney lawyer Twillie. Just visit him at lalawct.com. Follow him on Facebook at LALawCT or on Instagram at GetLALaw. You can ask your questions right to him.